Hello, I'm Jessica, a CRM Technical Consultant, and thank you for joining us for another Syvantis Fast Class. Today, I'm going to show you 7 tips to use the Dynamics 365 sales interface that are perhaps lesser known, but can really push your use of the system up a notch in terms of efficiency and optimization. For the sake of this class, we will assume you're already using the system for your regular job responsibilities, and these tips will just make it even easier to do your job in ways that may work better for how you work and organize your tasks. As always, drop your questions down in the chat and my team will be happy to answer them. First tip of the day, screen size reflow. The unified interface that all your CRM apps have actually adjusts to the size of your device screen and will morph the elements on the page to best suit that screen size. Navigation, cards, subtabs, the action bar, everything shifts to be as efficient as possible on the device you're on. Let's see what that looks like. As I narrow the width of my list, you can see at first these columns kind of all shrink so they all fit on the page. And then you start actually losing those columns to the right. And you can see the ribbons. The ribbon at the top there is also getting more compact, and you're losing options to that kind of triple dot expand option here. So that's what we're talking about on the list view. Now let's move to an actual account record and see what happens. So when we're at, tablet size here, we see we're all kind of in one column. We have all these sections in one column. And any of the tabs that don't fit along the top here have been moved into this expand. And as we get bigger here, we can see we move into 2 columns. And finally, we're back to the original 3 at the full size. So pretty nice way to kind of organize and make everything fit and still be functional, whether you're working on a tablet or a laptop or even a phone. Speaking of a phone, do you use the CRM app? We have a class on it. I taught it. We'll link it for you and you can check it out. If you often find yourself on the go needing to use the system, this is perfect for you, and it is also free. Our second tip of the day, and this is kind of a newer feature in CRM. You can now open records using a main form dialog or pop-up here. So when I open an email record from the timeline, in the past, you would get a quick create here, but now I have that whole main form that has opened up in a dialog, and I can enter my email information as needed. And another place that you can customize this is on the lookup view or the lookups. So for example, if we navigate to a contact record, I made this customization on the account lookup. So if I want to create a new record here we have that entire account form, that main form popped up as a dialog here. So a couple things about that. Now the bonus is we don't have to navigate away from the record we're working on to add this account record. And the alternative previous version of this was using a quick create form, which kind of the point of that quick, right, is you're only entering kind of the required information to get that record saved. And then the idea is you would go into that record later on to finish kind of your data entry. So this way you can do all that on the spot, making you more efficient. Okay, so the thing about kind of this main form dialog, it is a customization that happens in the back end. It's fairly simple, but if it's something you need help enabling, then we can help you with that. Our third tip of the day is focused view. So this is a newish feature in Dynamics as well. You can see it kind of condenses that view into one column on our left next to the navigation. And then you have like that first record kind of open on the right. So this is a good tool for, kind of if you're doing some pretty serious data entry, you can kind of work through your records one by one and enter the information you need to enter without kind of losing your place as you go. And you can use any of your views here to, maybe you want to narrow it down somehow by filtering this view in whatever way to kind of narrow your view down to only the records that you need to modify at one time. And then you can go through them again, like one by one. So just kind of a neat way to make your data entry more efficient. And you can do this on multiple different tables in CRM, including opportunities, accounts, as we saw, contacts, and you just see that there in the top ribbon. It's called focused view. So speaking of efficiency, our fourth tip of the day is how to edit multiple records at once. If you have a lot of data entry to do, that can cut the time you need to spend doing data entry. So, so one use case is maybe you met a bunch of leads at an event and you wanted to kind of go back and do that data entry all at one time. So I can select all of those leads I met and click edit in the top ribbon. And then here I have my event column. And let's say I met them at a craft fair and I can go ahead and save. You get this little notification here that was updating. And here we can add that column. And you can see that in just a few clicks, I have updated 4 records with the event location. So the thing about editing multiple records at once is you can make multiple mistakes at once, right? So you do need to kind of be careful. This will overwrite any existing data you may have in that field. So it is something that you want to use like judiciously, carefully, methodically. You don't want to overwrite existing data and make mistakes there. Another example of a mass edit here is you can use the assign button to change the owner. I'm going to navigate to contacts here, and you can see that a bunch of these records are assigned to me, and then many are also assigned to my colleague, Sarah. So let's say I would like to assign her contacts to me. So I selected all of those. And again, you could narrow this down by owner. So we could say here that I only want to see the ones that are owned by Sarah, so I can kind of select them all at once. And then you see this assign button on the top ribbon. And here the default is me, but you can also search. Here's a lookup for, different users in your company. So in this case, I'm going to assign them all to me, and I get the processing that it's working on it. And let's clear this filter. All of these records are now owned by me. So for kind of project management stuff, there's also a Kanban board view. So you can use this in opportunities. In order to show that, I had to jump into a different app here because I don't have opportunities in that other application. So I've turned this on as a customization in the back end, and then we can do show as Kanban. And you can kind of see that this is following the business process flow. Each stage is represented with a different board, and you can see kind of where the opportunities lie in this different throughout this process. So it gives you a good visual. And you can also change this to status if you aren't using the business process flow, so you can kind of see a visual of how many opens opportunities you have, how many won, how many lost as well. So a nice different visual to kind of see where things are at. So normally when we look at our activities, we see them in a list view like this, but we also have a control called calendar, which is what it sounds like. You can see it as a calendar view. So I can get kind of a visual of my day or my week. I can look at appointments this way, emails, tasks, any other activities as well. So here you have a planner-like visual representation of your contact with the client, and you can see kind of company-wide availability this way as well. The only thing required in this to kind of set this up in the back end is a start and end date, and then something for the description field, which in this case, we just use the subject. I'm going to pop back to my other application here to show you the seventh and final tip of the day, which are iFrames. So an iFrame gives you the ability to embed an external website into CRM. So it could be anything from Google to a working spreadsheet that you need to work with other people. So here I have embedded a Excel spreadsheet in SharePoint, and you and anyone else could work in this document, and it would be saved as you go, just, like in SharePoint. So they would see the same thing that you're seeing here now. So it just gives you, again, like a efficiency in working on an external document while in CRM, and saves you time and energy so you don't have to navigate between applications to do your job. So that's about everything for today. Of the 7 items we covered, screen size, reflow, editing multiple records at once, and focused view are standard out of the box, while the others need to be configured or enabled by your system admin or by your partner. None of these items are all that involved. They are pretty quick things to do, so don't hesitate to reach out if you're interested in setting any of them up. Thanks so much for joining us today for today's fast class. I hope we'll see you again next week. We'll be deep diving into customer journey functionality within Dynamics 365 marketing. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.